All right, so we have Jeff Wittek, Malak and Tana Mongeau on the H3 podcast. And it looks like Ethan is trying to turn over a new leaf with this, because on the podcast, he spent some time apologizing to these three, and he's talking about how he was a hateful person back then, and he was out of line, and now he just wants to squash the beef, I guess, even though I think he just realized that he's burned too many bridges at this point and made too many enemies. So he's trying to use this as an opportunity to change directions and maybe patch things up with these people that he's gone after for the past few years, because he really made it a point on this episode to apologize to them and bring up things that he probably said that were out of line. And I guess that's a good thing. I'm glad he's doing that, but hopefully he's sincere about it.
And so what I wanted to do is basically just apologize.
Can we not? What is this?
Well, this is, yeah.
Oh, you were coming at my neck. There was an old photo of me looking really awful, and then the Facetune, and then I guess people were saying you were fat shaming me.
Let's take a look at it, and then we can deconstruct it.
Is there a reason you started at that exact frame, or?
This link was handed to me.
Got it.
So whatever's on the TV at this moment is out of my control.
I was actually thinking about if you were going to bring this up or not on here.
Yeah, this probably isn't the best way to start an apology, because this could start a beef with Trisha. And Ethan actually does address Trisha later on, which I'll get to.
Yeah.
Get me involved in new stuff.
I think it's a photo of me looking
with an olive branch, not looking for World War III.
All right, no, let's move it on.
Oh, damn, Tana.
Oh, this one's so bad.
Smart, Mike.
Oh, peace.
Sorry.
I can't believe it's the same day. She looks like a Twinkie.
This is what Tana. I'm sorry. Yeah, look at that. She's fit.
Thin and
she's beautiful.
Slim.
Iconic.
That was a bad.
Hey, listen.
The video was Instagram versus reality, and I was just going over all the top posts from that subreddit.
To be fair, I think that day, I mean, I don't know. It's not a good one.
Yeah, sorry, but
all of our moments.
I did call you a Twinkie, so.
You called me a Twinkie.
Hey,
it was really just the color of the swimsuit.
Yeah, I think I needed to hit the gym, and I think that I had a rough
your body
day.
is beautiful and perfect the way it was then and now.
Do you have a daughter?
No, I have 2 boys.
Damn it.
Yeah, no. I didn't have kids then. I didn't have kids then. But sitting here across from you, I do want you to know that there's nothing wrong with this body. You're beautiful.
Well, I mean, no, at the time, I definitely was not a fan of even remote. This was years ago.
Very old. Very
long time ago. I don't even think I'd reached like internet real like clout yet. And then that was when people were kind of coming at. And then I definitely got a lot of injections and went to the gym a lot. But
how did that comment make you feel, Tana?
How did it make me?
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I definitely didn't like you, and I think it was coming from you. And I was kind of like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know.
But did it hurt you? Did it like push you into like a frenzy or anything like that?
I should say yes, so that it could like, you'd look like a shit person.
Speak your mind.
I really think that I don't know. You just weren't on my radar at that point in time. I was more scared or hurt by times when you would kind of come for me for things I was doing wrong. I felt like this was just
like the TanaCon stuff on the podcast?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Listen, this is I wouldn't honestly.
Well, I'm happy to not look anything like that now.
I would never make fun of a woman's appearance like this.
Well, you did.
I know, and I'm very sorry.
Right.
I shouldn't have done that.
I definitely think that I can think about a lot of girls who couldn't take it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been called everything under the sun. I've been made fun of for like every...
Yeah, so Ethan really came prepared with videos where he's making fun of each one of them, and he apologized for it all. And it's just funny that he pulled up this video, because I'm sure Tana was probably like, dude, why'd you have to play that? Like, you could have just apologized for it and talked about it. You didn't need to show everybody that. But it'll be interesting to see if Ethan actually does stop making fun of people as much, because I can't imagine he does. Maybe he'll stop making fun of Jeff and Tana and Mike. But with other people, I don't think he's going to slow down at all. Like, just on this podcast, right after he's given all these apologies and speeches about how he's a better person, he's not as hateful, he said some shit about Jordan Peterson.
Am I wrong for saying this? Why is he always crying?
He's very unstable.
You are not wrong for No, and that's what I didn't want you to say.
He is.
Okay,
what are the
is that why?
Yes.
Because I feel like I want to cry. I'm holding it back a lot of times too, but
he's not well, dude.
It just seems
he cries about Pinocchio and shit.
But he's like the voice. He's like the mouthpiece of the whole movement. Like, how could they? He's got a lot of good, like, solid stuff to say though too. Like, he's not wrong on everything. He definitely says some interesting stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I would love to talk about Jordan. Here he is crying. He just watched Pinocchio and he just thought, man, he just wanted him to be a real boy.
Like, well, I didn't mean that in a mean way. Like, I was honestly, genuinely curious, like, why that always happens.
Yeah, his brain is fucking melted from Xanax.
Like I said, I'm not involved in any of this.
Yeah. Well, now you are. So shout out.
Yeah, so if you're doing a podcast where you're talking about how you used to be really hateful and you realize that and now you've changed and you're a better person and now you're apologizing to everyone, you probably shouldn't be talking about how some guy's unstable because he cries and his brain is melted from Xanax. Like, you can go after the guy, but I feel like that's probably over the line a little bit if you're trying to have this nice guy arc where you're done being so hateful.
I do feel bad about making fun of your weight.
But do you ever think that people maybe do things like that because of comments that you made like that? That there are insecure girls out there that do try to uphold a certain image because of comments like that.
Yeah. That's why I think it was bad, and I wouldn't really do that today, make that comment, I don't think. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Live and you learn. Live and you learn.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think at the time, I just always knew you like hated me. So I think that was just one of the like million comments that you'd probably
that's
about.
one of the things that I regret too, is I don't really hate, of course I don't hate you at all, No, I never hated you at all. And
what do you think made you like that in that era of time? And I mean, obviously there was a lot of it that was very valid. You were coming at people for doing a lot of wrong and stuff. And that was good, like to have someone on the internet who's polarizing, kind of calling people out for being shitty people. But a lot of the like hating, just straight up hating comments towards people, like, what do you think made you like that?
Well, I don't think I did much like random hating. I think I took it too far in the terms of like talking about your body. I took it too far.
No, I don't just mean me.
But I'm saying, I think at the time, I honestly don't know. I mean, from my whole time on YouTube was calling people out for one reason or another, and it became like a whole industry of videos on YouTube where it's like, and even today it still exists, of like call out videos or reaction videos or whatever. And I think it was just part of the trend at the time to do that. But looking back, obviously, as I've spent more time on the internet and matured and have like, I think now more, I would say, just woke, quote unquote, audience, and I myself am more woke, just to use kind of an annoying word, that I'm a lot more careful with what I say about people.
See, it's really hard to believe Ethan here because he's definitely not careful at all. Like, that's why he always gets in so much trouble. And like I just showed you, he was making fun of Jordan Peterson. And if you wanted to have a woke take for that, you could say him making fun of Jordan Peterson for Xanax, even though I don't think that's what Jordan Peterson was doing. You could say he's making fun of everybody who's done Xanax. Like, he's saying if you're recovering from being addicted to Xanax, then you have a fried brain, or whatever he said. And also, apparently, if you cry a lot, that means you're unstable. Like, that doesn't sound like very woke takes, and it doesn't sound like he's careful when he's talking about somebody.
Commentary and do reaction videos is you wield a massive fucking army, bro. And so, like, what's that saying? With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Spider-Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Do you feel like you need to be a little bit more cautious about what you say? Because one thing that I'm very cautious of, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in some respect, that my good friend Logan Paul has taught me, is to be very careful in when you speak in absolutes, when you say very specific absolute statements that leave no room for wiggle based on a person's personal, you have subjective opinions, right? But like, do you feel like you have to be a little bit more cautious than the average podcaster?
I know this probably won't, maybe you guys don't believe it, but I feel like my whole career, I have been more restrained and careful than other people, and only gone after people that I think deserved it. Now, like, I don't know if you can give me a specific example of stuff that you guys think maybe I went too far on, and then I can reflect on it.
Yeah, so then they get into all the Jeff controversy, but Jeff doesn't seem too mad about it. It sounds like he was really mad right when it happened, and it had a big effect on him, but now he seems kind of fine with it, and he seems cool with Ethan. And same thing with Mike. He doesn't seem too mad at him. And also, it sounds like Ethan's letting Jeff off the hook for the whole alcohol thing, and he doesn't really care about that anymore, which I never really cared about, but a lot of H3 fans and Ethan, like, they're really mad about that, and they're trying to make him sound like the biggest asshole ever.
But yeah, I appreciate, you doing this and clearing that up, because it was something that I felt would follow me forever no matter what, because there's no way to prove it wrong. It's just he said, she said. I can't go back in time.
Even if you did buy the alcohol, it's like you may not have.
I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I believe you. But I'm saying even if you did, if there's people out there that say, well, I don't believe him. It's like, even if you did buy the alcohol, you may not have known their age, or let's say, hypothetically, you may not have known their age. And at the end of the day, it was Dom's decision and David's decision to shoot that video. And it's just, people should be able to move on from shit. Dom, fuck him, right? And David, fuck him.
But
I'm saying
him.
You didn't do anything.
So I wonder how H3 fans will react to this, because they really dislike this guy. Like, when all that stuff was going down, they hated him. And Ethan did too. But now that he doesn't have a problem with Jeff, I'm sure his fans don't either. So like I said, Ethan was bringing up clips of him trashing each one of these people and apologizing for it. But with Mike, I wish he brought up the clip where he was talking about Logan's drug problem, and this was a cry for help from him. This was like his rock bottom, and he's trying to ask his friends for help, and they're basically just laughing in his face, even though none of this was true. But he really went after Mike.
He takes
opiates.
It helps him stay focused. He was spinning it like, it helps me stay focused, which I was like, oh boy, he's doing a legitimate call for help. And his friends are just fucking laughing in his face.
Yeah, it's true. I'll just say it. I'm falling apart from the inside out. I know on the outside it looks like all is well and dandy.
No, it doesn't.
No, it's not. Oh, it doesn't?
No, you just have to say my insides are starting to mirror my outside.
My insides are starting to mirror my outside.
Mike is such a douche.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a good friend.
At all.
And Mike's sober too, isn't he? Like,
Well, his whole thing is like, his whole shtick is that he's like an addiction specialist.
Right. He's in recovery and everything. And
Can't help but feel kind of bad for him in this clip.
Exactly.
I will say, though,
he's surrounded by such horrible friends.
Right. They're just like laughing.
As joking as I'm being.
Yeah, so he's making it look like Mike was just laughing at Logan's addiction, and he's just a terrible friend. And also, I like how one of Ethan's employees is like, man, he doesn't look good. What the hell are you talking about? Look at Ethan. If Logan looks like somebody who's fallen apart and addicted to drugs and is in really bad shape, Ethan looks like he's on his deathbed, or he's already dead, and this is like some Weekend at Bernie's type shit. So I wish Mike called Ethan out for this, but maybe he's not even aware of it, and I don't think he was that prepared. But the clip that Ethan did use to apologize to Mike for was when he was trashing Mike's ex, Alana Rhodes.
Which is totally out of every hole and all that. And I just don't understand, how can you please a woman like that after she's actively taking like 20 dicks in her vag that same day?
Well, I have a feeling that
damn.
I know.
I remember, and this was one of the first times where I like wanted to. So
you tweeted at me about this.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I remember I had right off the bat had Gila's support. Right, like she was like,
I had no support on this.
Right
one.
on this one.
Yeah,
right?
No, nobody had my back.
So let me break into it for a second. So like, do you ever find yourself when someone has something to say about you, you're like strangely unoffended or unaffected by it? But when someone has something to say about your significant other, kid,
yeah, of course,
your mom, your dad, you're ready to go to fucking town, bro.
Yes.
Like, you're mad. And that's the kind of person that I am. And I like, that was a really vulnerable time for me, because it gave people that wanted to get under my skin the ability to do so, because they knew exactly where to attack. And I was very vulnerable at that time. I was very affected by a lot of that stuff, dude. And you know, I would come up with a million different, like this tweet, a million different ways to combat it. But it was an internalized battle that I had to deal with.
When you say you were insecure with it, you mean just with like the relationship, or
the issue is that Lana Amara at the time was very, very kind of felt a lot of shame and a lot of things about that part of her life and about that industry that she wasn't proud of.
So going back to when Mike was talking about how Ethan has all this power and he needs to be more careful with it, I forgot to bring up something that I think a lot of H3 fans want to see Ethan apologize for, especially now that he's turning over a new leaf. It's when he did this debate with AB about David Dobrik, and AB was defending David, and after they did it, H3 fans and Trisha fans were really going after him, like sending him death threats, sending him nasty shit, and it was very clear he was really shaken up by it, and Ethan didn't really seem to care that much.
Trauma, you have been nothing but kind and welcoming to me personally. I was stupid to think I could defend David without offending you. Trisha, I fully support you, and I'm sorry for being insensitive. I know it may take time, but I will do everything in my power to show you that I want nothing but good for you. I'm sorry I let run down. I will do better.
Wish we had the apology podium out. That was worthy of the great apologies of this in the show's history. Okay, you got some death threats. I know I saw your Instagram went private. Like, a lot of people were curious, like, why are you so quick to defend David against the first-hand account of like Nick and Trisha and Seth on video? It's odd that you would accuse 3 different people of lying, and for lack of a better word.
He's a complete dumbass. Like, it's not even an asshole. He's a complete dumbass because he's actually sweet in person. He's just an idiot.
Oh, well, that's kind of a compliment, AB. She said, you're not an asshole. You're just a dumbass. You're a sweet person. You just don't know anything. Thoughts?
I agree.
That's good. I mean, well, let's close the video. You know, why do we need to watch any more than that?
So I'm only 10 minutes
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a really good response for her. She comes out saying he's a nice person.
She gradually gets more.
Yeah.
She says she wants to kill him. She wants to fire him. If she sees you ever at my house, she'll quit the show.
Yeah, so I think a lot of H3 fans thought it was pretty crazy that Ethan just let Trisha talk to AB like that. And he's almost sticking up for her. He's like, well, it's not too bad. Even though she's sending him death threats, she's calling him a dumbass, she's threatening to quit the show. And on the podcast that I'm talking about currently, Mike even brings up how Trisha had so much power and her fans were just relentless. And anybody she attacks, her fans would go after.
If you're an army, because when you guys were together, I felt her power surge. Like, dude, she would just point, get them. And that was so were those foot soldiers that were coming from the H3 army to aid? Because now it seems like, does she still wield the same Zeus-like capabilities?
No, she doesn't. But to be honest with you, she's been pretty mellow.
Yeah, that's great. No, good.
Since she got pregnant, I don't think she really talked any shit about anyone.
That's good.
To give her credit. Yeah.
Do you ever foresee being cool with Trisha again?
You know what? I hate to, there's some stuff that I just don't want to say publicly, but I'll just say this. I don't actually hate Trisha. Like, I understand her. She's a complicated person.
Yeah.
In retrospect, looking back at that show, I realized that there was a lot of stuff that she said that I just trusted and believed everything she said, which maybe wasn't the way to do it. But the only way to do that show was to just go, like, you can't really like push back on her, or you just have to like go along for the ride, kind of.
I do think we'll see Trisha on this podcast again. I can almost guarantee it, because Ethan used to like absolutely hate her. Like, whenever he talked about her, he's like, she is awful. Like, he'd say some terrible things about her. And now it sounds like he's kind of setting up for her coming back. He's like, oh, I don't really hate her. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, last year you sounded like you really hated her. And he even said that she's been good recently and she hasn't been involved in as much drama. So I don't know how his fans are going to like that, because they really hated her as well. And I'm sure they still do. So there are just a few other things I wanted to talk about. And one of them is Oliver Tree. Mike brings him up because him and Ethan kind of have a fake beef. But now I think it's kind of real. I don't really know what's going on, but Mike says that Oliver Tree's now like friends with the Nelk Boys, and he's going to shoot a music video with Andrew Tate.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
So he tells me he, I guess, has been spending time with Nelk. And,
What?
And he said that the following week he was going to Croatia to meet Tate. Meet Andrew Tate, Top G.
They told me they're doing a song about you. Andrew Tate's going to be on it. Dissing you.
I'm not getting it all either.
I know. I believe
I have pictures or videos of it too, and I think I don't know if you know this, but I think Keem was doing a charity dinner in Rochester, and he said he'd bought Oliver had bought a $1,500 plate at Keem's charity dinner.
Ethan did sound really surprised by Oliver hanging out with Nelk. That sounded like a shock to him, even though he said he believes it. So I think they do have a real beef now, because he was also talking about how much he hates him. So also I have here when Ethan's talking about his friendship with Ninja, and I think this is when he really realized that he was going too far with things.
I mean, forgive, sure. People do that. Does it make me look at you as a different kind of person? Maybe a little bit, yeah.
Okay. A little resolution.
But I'm sure that you look at me as a bad person.
No, I don't. I swear I don't.
So,
that's what annoys me about my whole shtick is that like the same thing happened with Ninja, and that's what started the whole redemption hater ass bitch metamorphosis. There was that clip of Ninja being like, I know Ethan hates me. And I was like, man, that's fucking sucks, dude, because I don't hate him at all. I like Ninja.
I just think
we don't give a fuck about Ninja. We're here today to talk about.
I'm just saying that I have
in our friendship and squashing our.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I have that effect where people think I hate them, and
well, I mean, it's easy. It would be easy to mistake that. I mean, you have some really rough takes on a lot of stuff and a lot of.
All right, so there's just one more clip that I found interesting. Mike brings up a potential fight between Logan Paul and Andrew Tate.
Would you be willing to be a little bit more understanding and more friendly towards Logan if he knocked Andrew Tate out?
Ooh, yeah.
Dude, is that on the table? I'll tell you what, man. Yes.
What if he takes down Tate?
Total absolution.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Do the tickets sell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And dude, like, so like you.
That's actually interesting because Tate's, he's a fighter.
That's right. A 4-time kickboxer.
Yeah, so if that happened, that would be epic. And obviously that would sell a lot of tickets. Everyone would want to watch that. And from listening to Mike here, it sounds like something that is actually a possibility that Logan's looking into. So hopefully we see that happen. And that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. And then hit that like button. Then hit the subscribe button. And I'll catch you at the next video.